What is up, everybody? How are you guys? Oh, John's not there. I do magic, ladies and gentlemen. I made John disappear.
Sorry, bud. I had to get something to drink.
I was like, you were there before the countdown, and then I was like, dude, I didn't know I can do magic. I made John disappear. Okay. Hope you guys had a good Tuesday at work or whatever you did today. Welcome to another episode of the Black Line Brief. I'm your host, Matthew McKim, and today we have a special guest, Jon Aaron Bray. How you doing, bud?
I'm good. It's a pleasure to be with you again.
It's always a pleasure to be with you. Let me hit this so I can get my monitor that I monitor everything on. Good to go. All right, everyone. Before we get started, please do John and I a favor. If you're viewing from his channel, please hit the like and subscribe on his end. If you're viewing it on mine, please and thank you. It is how you can help support our channels. It's the free and easy way to do it. And yeah, cool. All right, so we're going to be going over some new findings, some things that John's been working on over the last few weeks or few months since the last time he was on the show. And then we're going to talk about some other things that either have, recently transpired on X, or other surrounding issues and events that's pertaining to the Charlie Kirk assassination investigation and cover up. So, yeah, man, where do you want to start?
I don't know. You're the host. You just got me along.
All right. So, okay, we'll start with the video because it's so fresh on my mind. We were talking about the Gray Hughes video. So, and I think it is important. And I think your reaction is much like how mine was. For those of you that don't have an X and that maybe or don't know who is it, Gray Hughes, right?
Gray Hughes. Yeah. GHI is like his little logo.
Yeah. Okay. On X, he posted a video, and has he always been a Fed slopper?
Oh yeah, like him and Gary are like twin brothers.
Oh, how funny. Okay, yeah. All right. They both are descendants from the Kandahar giant.
Possibly.
Okay, so I didn't know until now that I look back in my mind, I have seen his handle. I have seen some posts he done, and now that I kind of recall, he does hold down the fort for the Fed slop. And he totally did that today by posting a video on X, which is like an AI recreation of what he says. Totally is plausible that Tyler Robinson could have climbed over the railing on the Losi Center and made it to the corner and taken the shot and then bolted off the roof. And real quick, before I play it, it does actually show, it clips back and forth, right?
Yeah, you gotta be. It's like borderline. It has some. It definitely, you're gonna be riding the line because it clips at the very key moment when the rooftop video looks the worst. He switches to like Charlie.
Yeah.
So while he does
Charlie, huh?
Yeah, it doesn't like show. It's the UVU angle that he uses. But he doesn't use the UVU like upload that blurs everything out. So you do run the potential to get smacked with it.
Here, well, let me see. Before I add it to, hold on, let me mute it, and then let me see where it actually shows Charlie getting.
The best part is before, though.
That's what I'm thinking.
The most ridiculous part is before the shot takes place.
Yeah, and it shows the guy on the corner of the roof.
Yeah, that's when you know you're getting close. Once you see the guy on the corner of the roof.
And then it shows the guys. Okay, and then it shows the guys from the Adam Bartholomew video.
Yeah.
And then it shows Charlie.
Yeah,
and none of that's really important anyways. And then we can show you have the actual a separate video of him running off, right? The actual video.
I just had the screenshots so you could see the time and the distances, like the two pinpointed areas where you could see exactly where he was, and then I measured the distance on the roof that he would have to cover. Yeah.
All right, you guys. So I'm gonna do this without the audio. He doesn't say anything really important. Well, I mean, do you think the audio is important?
I didn't even listen to it. I can't even tell you what I said.
Yeah, neither did I. So, all right, you guys. So this is a AI or computer generated recreation of what he says is plausible for Tyler Robinson to have climbed over the railing and then, onto the roof and then to the shooting position. And we'll tell you why it doesn't work after the fact, but let's take a look at it. Wait, am I sharing it? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I can see it. Yeah.
All right. Already it's wrong.
Yeah.
Already it's wrong. He doesn't even go where he's supposed to go.
Yeah, and then he slaps that rifle together. Oh, it's put together already.
Yeah. And he's got this perfect low tactical stance. And the timing's off too, right?
Yeah, slightly.
And then they try to time it with here, the roof. All right, I'm going to hit pause, and then I'm going to go to after him running right there. There.
Yeah.
Oh, nope. They're going to pick him up, aren't they?
Yeah. There you go. Now you're back on the roof.
Yeah, but then they actually, and then they clip back to him picking him up. I don't even want to
I had the roof video.
There you go. Do you have that one?
Yeah, I got the roof video.
Yeah, that was the part that I really wanted to show. But so the part that stood out to me, and then I'm going to let you go, the parts that stood out to you, because we both picked up on different aspects, or at least you probably picked up on all of them. But like that's what I honed in on, was that when you read the charging documents and the probable cause statement, how it describes the CCTV video, what it captures is, and I'll never say it's Tyler Robinson. They can say that all they want. I call him Eagle Boy because that's the shirt. And I'm just not even going to partake in like, ruining this kid's life by saying that it's his name. I think it's a totally different person for so many different reasons. But Eagle Boy, per the documents, has a rifle in his pants, okay? A freaking Mauser that's 45 to 49 inches. They never clarify if it's actually put together or not. They kind of insinuate both, but I mean, at one point they say that he assembles it when he's on the roof, so then you kind of have to imply that it was disassembled. But then that would mean he has two separate parts in one pant leg, or two in both pant legs, but which would still be like 22 something inches in each leg. But he bends both legs climbing up the stairs. He climbs over the railing. I don't know how he does that with these pieces or the full rifle in his freaking pants. And then he actually runs over to the Losi Center roof. And when you pull that up, I can even show the like a Google Maps of it. But he runs over or walks over to that glass building that he disappears when he runs off. And he's behind that building for like 8 minutes. It's like 8 or something minutes exactly. I don't remember the exact amount of time, but it's a good amount of time, where he supposedly changes his clothing and assembles the rifle. And then it says that the camera picks him up again, running out to the sniper's perch, and then low crawling the last couple yards or 5 to 10 yards out to the shooting position, and that where he supposedly takes the shot. This video has him climb right over the railing, run straight out to, and then the rifle's already put together too, by the way. And then he's like tactical walking out, and it's just, I don't even know why this person wouldn't even try to make it the right way. You know?
Yeah, it was just no effort. It was just for just for the video, basically. It was like the accuracy,
and the conclusion, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Totally plausible, right? He said it's like totally plausible that this could have happened.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, if you're gonna say that it's plausible, like at least make a recreation of what they say happened. And how far off? You said it's only a couple seconds off of the actual time.
I mean, here's pretty close.
Okay, it's close.
Yeah, but the biggest thing that I had a problem with was just the distance that they would have to cover. It's just preposterous.
After the shot, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Right. Because you've measured that roof from corner to corner, right?
Yeah,
or at least like approximately.
Yeah. This is from the two screenshots that we have. It's 33 meters from where we see them from that front camera from someone in the crowd.
Yes.
And then from the first time we see them on the security camera, it's 33 meters. And then we have, the time shot, time slots. You see 32 seconds, and you can see the distance from that square ledge that sticks out.
Yeah.
So that's 32 seconds. And then from 32 seconds to this distance, 36 seconds. So, that distance is 33 meters, basically. So, and that is a clip. It doesn't sound like that fast until you It's very fast.
Until you do the math.
Until you do the math. And this is loose gravel. He would have to be in a prone position.
Yep.
He needs to get up from the prone position, get his 9.5 pound rifle with the scope. So it's probably over 10 pounds.
Yep.
Put a blanket over it or a towel or whatever it is, and then chug it like Usain Bolt speed across the gravel
with a backpack on.
With a backpack on.
With jeans on and Converse, Chuck Taylors.
With Chuck Taylors.
On a gravel roof.
And there's no footprints left on the roof. You know, there's some disturbance here and there's some disturbance here, but you don't see like someone chunking it across the roof. You would see like each footprint where they landed.
Really good footprints because that's heavy pressure. You're leaving the ground and it's your whole body weight putting your foot into the ground. It's not like you're soft walking. You're running.
Right. It would be,
you're going to get good foot impressions.
It would be impossible. And then you just look at the video in itself. Like once he gets to the end, like the speed that this is like Olympic sprinter speed that he was 100 meters from where the shooter position is to this corner. And look at his gait. It's just that's not a sprint gait. You know, that's like a jogging gait.
Yeah.
And then this weirdness in the video, once he gets to the corner, like watch it, he turns to like a spirit animal, like his legs are gone, his body, his torso is gone. And then it does this like,
Figment.
Yeah, exactly. Like Blade Runner hitting warp speed. And it does it twice. But then watch how the resolution just automatically, boom, it gets crystal clear. Boom, and we see his body, you can see his head.
Right. You can see his skin color and everything.
Yeah, right when it gets to the edge, when it's important. And it's not that he's moving any more or less. Like nothing's changed. And all of a sudden you can see it clearly when it's important, when they're wanting to show you the details they want you to see, him dropping the gun and jumping off. But before then, it's just a blur. You know, you don't see anything. I couldn't explain it. You know, I don't want to go and say that it's just straight, you know, AI or fake, but it's definitely not, it doesn't give me a lot of confidence that I would, if I was on a jury and that was like the keystone to the whole case, I would be like, yeah, not it's not the clothes that we ever saw him in.
Correct.
You know, the prosecution even clearly says that they can't ID him in the Eagle Boy outfit.
Yes, correct.
Eagle Boy is just a person.
Correct.
For them to go and say that it's Tyler Robinson by Converse, there's 100 million pairs of Converse, gray Converse in America. Like you can't. How many pairs of gray Converse were on that campus that day? Like you can't make a case over clothes that you don't have. A build that's like average build size for any Caucasian and gray Converse. Like that's the case that they're building. And you can't make any detail off of the roof video. Like you couldn't, that could be anyone. Yeah.
Literally. It could even be a girl. Like it could literally be, it could be an older man. It could be an 18-year-old. It literally, we have no clue anything specific about that individual. And we do know that Kash Patel early on in one of the news conferences said that they enhanced the photos and videos. He doesn't say which ones, but that the ones used to help identify him, which this is one of the ones that they released before they found him to help identify him. This one, and then the one of him walking down the stairs and up the stairs, which is Eagle Boy once again, were all somewhat enhanced. And then when you listen to the main prosecutor for the Utah County Attorney's Office and the documents, but mainly in that one hearing last month, he says, we clearly can determine it is Tyler in the morning at 8:30, right? They say that. It's crystal clear. No, there's no guesswork. That's Tyler. He never comes on campus, though. He walks around campus and he parks in the parking structure, but that's Tyler Robinson for sure. At the afternoon, arrival time, they say a couple things. They say, well, he's wearing a disguise, which the only real different thing on his face in the afternoon is a pair of sunglasses. I don't know. That's not a disguise. Every time we wear sunglasses out, we don't say we're wearing, it's not a disguise. He's got a hat on in the morning. He's got a hat on in the afternoon. And then they say, well, he's also aware of where the cameras are. So he's like intentionally like looking in a certain way that the bill covers half of his face. And then they say, and the quality of the video in the afternoon is not as good as in the morning. But then the prosecutor says, but it's clearly Tyler because He's around the same age. He's around the same height. He's around the same build, and he's white Caucasian male.
I got the video. We got to listen to it because when you listen to it, it's just like beyond bizarre.
Yeah, it's nuts. I'm down. Yeah. Yeah. I was listening to Tucker had this guy on recently in the last day or so, the guy that like investigates the whole Roblox thing.
Yeah.
You know, and the 7, I don't know if I should say that number, you know, that gang that does really bad things online.
Yeah.
And he showed Tucker that he literally found Tucker's like social security number and like the deed to his house. And like, he showed Tucker that like, he's not as protected because did you know that there was a massive data breach a couple years ago?
There's always any government agency has like the DMV.
Right, but no, this one was in Florida. The sheriff was accessing literally like over like, I don't know, 60 to 75% of Americans' information, and all of it got leaked. And most likely you're in it, right?
Yeah.
This guy was like, I don't even know how the sheriff was given access to this database, but it all got leaked. And Tucker's in there like 50 something times.
Oof.
Yeah. But Tucker's like, well, I don't really have credit, so I don't really care. But he's like, you should care. I found the deed to your property over here. I found your signature that nobody knows. He's like, how did you find that? He's like, my signature's not even my name. Like I signed something different. But anyways, going back to what they were talking about was that eventually we need to get to biometrics, but that they have the ability to measure the distance between like eyes and ears and nose and mouth. Like, shouldn't there be things in that Eagle Boy video and they can compare it to known video and photo of Tyler? And shouldn't they be able to at least kind of with some percentage be able to say yay or nay?
Yeah, or a gait analysis. Yes. But they're going to bank on, he wasn't walking normally because he had a rifle down his pants or something. You know, it's just like,
we tricked him.
Yeah, I guarantee you, if any normal person was being hunted for a real crime, and you know, they would be able to track you down 100 different ways. Yeah,
I did that with the Washington cop for the DC, the pipe bombs.
Yeah, exactly.
They literally were like, because she had a limp because of some injury or something.
Yeah.
They were able to determine it was her, like with a pretty high certainty.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you have that video of him saying that?
There's no audio on it. I've ripped it today. There's no audio. So you just get to see a lawyer in a nice suit that does nothing.
Right. But pretty much he says what we just said, right?
Yeah, you were almost a verbatim of what he said. He literally said we can't ID him because he had a low cap and sunglasses.
Yeah,
but we definitely ID'd him earlier in the day in shorts and a short sleeve shirt. And he even says he later turned himself in the short sleeve shirt and the shorts. I'm like, what does that have? There's no relevance to the case at all. Like,
no. And then do you remember the Dairy Queen video? He's wearing long pants in that one.
Yeah. None of it. It's just,
and that one, the Dairy Queen video, he looks a little different. Like he does look like Tyler Robinson, but he kind of doesn't.
And there's a Superman ad in the back, the Superman the movie ad, and it was like months and months long ago. Like it's just like they scraped cameras and found a picture of him.
That it could have been Tyler, but it could have been him like in March or April or something like that.
Yeah, and people went back to that Dairy Queen and it's like shut down. It's not even open anymore. Like,
and hey, that makes sense. If the FBI was targeting him and surveilling him and trying to find him as a patsy, they would have all sorts of stuff on him from like the whole year.
Yeah, you build a case that way. You know the asset that you're going to create. You know what I mean? Whether it's the roof video or the security videos, them walking around, or find a guy that looks like them that you can send out to, you know, play the role to get caught on some ring cameras. Like they just piece enough together to make the narrative like string along enough that most people are just like, oh, he's guilty. I know he's guilty 100%. Like, and then palm prints and fingerprints. You know how many people have been exonerated later from DNA evidence from palm prints and palm print? It's the most like, all the expert has to do is like, I examined them and they match. Like you're matching lines.
Yes.
And the palm prints are way worse than fingerprints.
Yes.
Because a palm is not that, it's not that unique. There's a lot of like, you know, and then shoe prints are the same thing. The only way that you identify someone's shoe if they have a unique mark on it, like a scuff or something, or a cut in the sole.
Missing, yes.
Otherwise, it's like every other gray Converse in the world. You know what I mean? A print of a Converse in a normal size tells you nothing. Like that's not conclusive evidence.
Yeah, I definitely think the Ring doorbell footage is super suspect because the house is like owned by Palantir. What's his name? Phil Lyman, right? His whole family lives on that block, and it's so grainy you can't really tell who it is. But I definitely think that it's like within the realm of possibility that they tell whoever, and it's possible they told, maybe that's one of the roles they gave him was just to walk up and down that neighborhood.
Yeah.
For Tyler, maybe they're just like, hey, you're gonna be someone else's alibi. Like, go walk up and down this neighborhood a couple times. And he thought he was doing it for the team. But I also think there's like 2 or 3 different people. They're not the same person. They're in different clothing, but they're not the same person. They have like a different walk. The kid with like the long pants and the limp is not the same as the kid with the shorts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, the proportions are just a little different. You know what I mean? They're around the same height, but their proportions, the torso to leg length and like their gait is a little weird. And the rifle is just a perfect reason to have someone not have the same gait. You know what I mean? It's just so convenient.
Yeah.
Like in all reality, if you can fit the stock of the rifle and the scope in the backpack, you could fit the barrel and the body of the rifle in the backpack too, which I don't think either of them fit in the backpack. They show him wearing. Like, I don't see how either of them fit without it being completely distorted, which it's not. Like,
correct. There's a couple of people that did that. They broke it down. They put it in a big backpack, which is even bigger than the one that Tyler or, you know, Eagle Boy had on that day. And it still sticks out. It doesn't fit, you know? And I definitely think it's plausible. Like, if they for sure have Tyler parking in the morning and walking around campus, that might have been the time he walked in that neighborhood, you know, to be on camera for whatever reason they told him to. But it's very clear that the person in the afternoon on campus is not him. And I think the same person in the afternoon in the same article of clothing as Eagle Boy is also not Tyler. And I think that's probably the same person that walked up and down the stairs. But do you think that roof video of him running off, do you think that's from that day?
It could have been from a completely, you don't know. And there's so much, it's so poor resolution, but there's funny things. If you look at the background, the movement of the guy, you know, jogging across the roof in the background, you can see cars going. There's funny things. Like, I swear the cars go backwards. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, and then if you look at, there's no other movement going on. Like, the trees aren't blowing. There's no cars going around. Later in the video, there's some people that are walking that go down the path, but like, during that key moment where he's running across the building,
everything's still.
Except for the background where you really can't make it out.
Right.
But there's like a light colored objects, like a box truck or something that passes by, and I swear it comes backwards and then starts back again. You know what I mean? I ran all sorts of different analysis, but it's so pixelated that you can't make rhyme or reason of it. But yeah, just nothing about that video like would be the cornerstone of evidence for me. And then you look at what else they have. DNA from a towel and a rifle that was his. Yeah, we know that. Yeah, I would expect his DNA to be on a rifle that's his and a towel. So let's say, and then the rounds of ammunition, which make no sense, right? The motivation of someone that claims in a text to their lover that they wanted to go to their grave with this secret,
right? But
they Dremel memes on the bullet, and then they Dremel bullet at their house that they leave there. It says, that says test shot. You know what I mean? I want to remember that this was the test shot. I'm going to practice my Dremel skills on this bullet and leave it here conveniently next to my Dremel tool.
Yeah, which ties them both together perfectly, right?
Exactly. And there's you think logically wise, like the kid wasn't like mentally incapable of realizing what he would be doing if he did that, right? The risk far outweighed the rewards that he would have.
Yeah.
And if the narrative of the text is true, then it's like crossed motivations. Like either he wanted to be caught and he wanted to be a martyr, and this was, for the team, so they could all go, ha ha ha, that was so funny, Tyler, you got him.
Yeah.
Our martyr, Tyler Robertson. But that's not what the supposed text message conveys. So it's like there's mixtures of like a logical person's train of thought. Like it doesn't add up. And then if you just take into account of, let's say, if they wanted to set him up and he didn't bring the towel and the rifle himself, someone could go in his house and plan all that stuff, grab a towel, grab the rifle. It has his DNA on it, all of it. The bullets would already have his DNA on it. It would be really easy to, and then you set it all up. You lay it around, and now like all you need is the kid just to show up and walk around campus for whatever reason, and you fill in the blank with everything else, and now you have a capital murder case.
And we know that there was suspicious individuals that the neighbors said never had frequented there before, that were like older, and they said, they thought, I don't know if I'm remembering it right, but I think I'll just leave it at that. There was not typical suspicious looking individuals that frequented that condo or apartment, Tyler's place, the weeks leading up to, and like the few days before, and at any point they could have grabbed towels and the rifle the night before, or even when Tyler's gone. If Tyler's not there that day and he's out walking around, or he's driving his car around because someone told him, hey, be ready, have your phone on, drive around so that when we call you, we need you to come pick us up or something. They could have just written, grabbed everything to drop it. And
and now they're like, oh, he recorded his trip, he had a camera on his, like, I promise you, if that camera had any data that could incriminate Tyler, they would be showing it to us left, right, and center.
Wait, say that again?
He had a camera in his car, like, where a dash cam, where he records.
Did that
like
come out recently?
Yeah, they just mentioned that they found a camera. Like, well, that's pretty pertinent information. Like, I'm sure that everyone would have liked to know that. That would have like filled in all the blanks, right? Why would they not tell us about it? And the only reason they wouldn't tell you about it is because it's not important. You can't say, oh, they're protecting it for the court case. Well, they showed you all the key. They leaked all the key evidence for the court case already. So that's
strongest pieces. Yeah,
that doesn't make any sense. That's not their mode of operation. Like, if they had anything that could incriminate Tyler, they leaked it to the press already. So you can only assume that the either there's no video on the camera, or it took them a while to kind of doctor it or do whatever they want with it.
Yeah. It took them a while to make it look how they wanted it to look.
Yeah.
And I think the similar, like you were saying, that it's almost like that there's two versions of this Tyler Robinson when it comes to the planning and execution of this. Like, we have evidence that makes it look like he is smart and wanted to get away with it and said he wanted to get away with it and take it to his grave. And then there's all these pieces of evidence which like completely contradict that. It's almost like, and then the same thing with, oh my gosh, of course, there was another thing that was the same way. And I just lost it.
Or like the rifle. Why would he just leave the rifle? There's people walking around with rifles all over. There was a guy with an air rifle that they caught later. Like, he could have totally just walked that right. If he walked the rifle in, he could have walked it out. Yeah. And what I don't understand is, why did he jump off the roof? Why didn't you just go back the railway that you went? Like, it's just as concealed as the roof. If anything, the roof is more conspicuous because there's a dude standing on the edge of the roof. If there's a guy, like, the only conspicuous part of going down the railway is jumping over the rail, which he already did once and nobody said anything about it. You know what I mean? Like, it was a longer distance to jump off the roof. Like, it's more conspicuous. Like, none of it makes sense. Why wouldn't you go back the way you came?
Because you need him to run that way for the Hall of Flags video.
Yeah, exactly. And
if he runs back, he runs this way, he wouldn't even be on the shot at all.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Huh.
Because he ran along the roof line. There's no reason for him to run along the roof line either.
No, because it's an angle.
He made his path longer. Like, it would have been more direct for him to go back and around the backside of the building.
Yes.
But he went the long way around. I measured it. It's an extra 20 meters. Like, he had an extra 20 meters of risking his livelihood to run and then jump off the edge of the roof. Like, it's just, none of it makes sense. Like, why would you even do that? Like, you went over the rail, nobody said anything. Go back over the rail, bro. Like, go down the stairs. Like, nobody would have blinked an eye.
Oh, I remember what it was. Yeah, I agree 100%. But remember also too, in the beginning, they were like, when they had him, they're like, yeah, he's, I can't say the word with an S, but like he wanted to unalive himself, but then he was afraid to turn himself in because he was afraid they were going to unalive him.
Yeah. And they probably, he's probably wise of him. That's probably was the plan,
Yeah, I think so too. It's almost like, I don't know, like that. I think so much of this is stupid people like having to improvise with what didn't turn out to be the perfect plan that they had planned.
Yeah.
Whatever it was. So much of this seems so obviously stupid and not plausible when we look at it from our angle, that it's like there's no way that this was the original plan from the get-go, because there's just too many clear mistakes.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, if we didn't have the neck wound and he was suicided or whatever, or he was, swatted or whatever, we wouldn't be talking about it. It would just be like, oh, well, there's nothing there no more.
Yep.
Poor kid. That kid was a loony, a leftist killer. But all those pieces didn't come together, and now we're just left. They have to explain things that they didn't plan for, and they're just filling in the blanks, and it's rough.
Yeah, I definitely think that if the wound would have been whatever they had initially intended, whether that be like here or here, and everything would have worked out, like we wouldn't have had any questions, and we wouldn't have had anyone to question either. Like, it would have been an even better JFK, because like with JFK, you had Lee Harvey at least innocence for a while, right?
Yeah,
and they were like, this is bad. He's saying I'm a patsy. He's saying I wasn't there, and they were like, we need to go get someone out there right now and take him out. And Jack Ruby was the idiot that did it, and then they kill him later. Yeah, I think that we wouldn't have been we wouldn't have had anything else to even use to question the narrative.
Yeah.
But I honestly think this is even more proof that God exists, because like so many things went just wrong enough that have allowed this to be something that we could actually point to and be like, no, this is not what happened. What you're saying, what happened isn't what happened.
The cross necklace is like the Holy Spirit lifted that thing off. You know what I mean? Right. It's like, explain this.
Yep. Yeah. It flying over his head like that. Oh yeah. And I can't believe people say the cavitation.
It's insane. I did I don't know. It's my favorite analysis on Follow the Epicenter. I did the Candace view. I went frame by frame. There was frames I missed, but I lined it up with Cubs video from the side.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it gives you such a good idea of like how wild that is and how cavitation just can't explain it at all. When you see those two views played by each other, like frame by frame, you see how much energy went into whipping that thing around. Like, it's crazy, like how anyone can just explain that away as just a event of like I don't even think you can find a working example of it anywhere. You have people like trying to recreate it with Hollywood effects, and they can't do it. Like it's beyond explanation.
Yeah,
and that's why they don't talk about it. It's just like mom's the word about the necklace. You know what I mean?
I mean, the exact, like, what is the circumference, the length of that?
26 inches is what I've
So that means that Charlie's neck would have had to expand at least 27 to 28 inches, right? To make it snap.
Yeah, just crazy. And it definitely, like, you see one of the links fly out, like, so fast that it's only seen for one frame, and it's like a foot away from them in a single frame. Like, it broke mid link, and that type of chain link is super strong. It's like 9 joules of force to break it. Like, you could choke, you could like hang somebody from that necklace. It's that strong. It's not going to break. And it's just to see it snap in like an instant and then throw a link out like like a air rifle.
There's a lot of power.
And cavitation is a mechanism of fluid, like
expanding.
Like, there's just tissue and bone, and there's like it's not like it's in the gut or something. You know what I mean? It's just it doesn't make. I think when people say that, they have no idea what cavitation even is. It's just like they look at a video of ballistic gel getting hit, and guess what? Ballistic gel doesn't have. It doesn't have tissue. It doesn't have vascular system. It doesn't have muscle. It doesn't have bone.
No.
It's a big old. You see it jiggle around when they set it down. You know,
it's lard. It's meant to expand and then come back together.
Yeah,
it's meant to actually
give you an idea of the possible cavity. It's not saying that's what the cavity is going to look like. If you're they're saying this is the possible cavity that can be created from a bullet impact. And for people to use that as an analog, it's just like, oh, it's just you're just not thinking it through. Like, look at the manufacturers; they literally tell you this is not a means to replicate what a bullet impact does to tissue. It's made to give you an idea of the penetrating power and how much cavity that it could create through the cavitation. Like, it's not made to replicate that's what they use pigs for. And you look at there's a guy that shoots a pig with a 30-06 and a 300 blackout, and there's no cavitation. You just see the shirt just puff a little bit. You know what I mean?
Really?
Like, you don't see any wild shaking or anything. Like, it's just that's not how flesh reacts to impact.
Well, and like at 27 to 28 inches expansion on a neck, that is whatever our necks normally. Like, I don't know what my neck. I don't. Measure my neck, but that would have blown it would have ripped it off, right? Like, your neck can't stretch to 27 inches and come back
in a frame of 60 frames per second video.
Right,
no, it can't move that fast. It would just tore the flesh.
That's what I was thinking.
I did another. I ran I found the calculations where like blood splatter from rifle impacts, bullet impacts. It's like a science. They can go to a scene where people have shot people and they didn't have videos of it. Nobody knows what happened. They can tell you where the person was, how the angle of the bullet. Like they have this to a science, and they replicate it on paper. Like, they can give you exact. And I found all the calculations that they used from two different sources, from a blunt bullet and a pointy bullet, and for different areas of the body. And I made a complete replica of what that impact to that area of the body would look like. You can see the blood splatter, what it should have looked like on the backdrop behind them, what it should have looked like on his shirt. That's all on Follow the Epicenter also. And it just, it's just more of this diffusing little bits by little bit, things that they just don't want to address, like the necklace and the lack of blood splatter on the shirt, the lack of penetrating exit wound blood spatter behind them. Like, these are things they just rather would not talk about. So you just have to bring it up and like, look, if any other case, if we didn't have video of Charlie being shot, and like, say Charlie was out at night and they just found him dead, this is what they would be doing to determine if he was shot or not. And it's just like, just because we heard a rifle shot and they tell us that he got shot with a rifle, they just overlook all this science that's developed, that's been used to convict people of of actual homicides. And it's just like, none of that applies because we heard the shot and the FBI says they caught the killer,
Right. So like, reverse engineering, like the lack of high velocity blood splatter should point you into the direction that a high velocity round wasn't used.
Exactly. If you're making a case, you have to make the case that Tyler actually shot a rifle that day. So you would want black gunpowder residue on his hands, and on his clothes, on his vehicle. Right. That shows you that he shot a rifle that day.
On the steering wheel, the driving, it'd be on the seatbelt, anything he touched. Yep.
And then that weapon, you would want to tie it to the actual victim. And that would be not only through the potential matching of the bullet, but for the characteristics of the fatal wound.
Right.
Like, those characteristics have to match the narrative that you're trying to, convict someone of capital murder. Like, it has to be examined. There has to be an expert witness that says, oh, this is completely consistent with a 30-06 impact. Here's other case studies that we have. Here's the numbers. Here's where we replicated it. Like, that's a real case. That's prosecution building a real case to convict someone. But instead, what we get is Converse imprints, palm prints on the roof, etched bullet casings, and DNA on things that you would absolutely assume DNA is going to be on it. Yeah, of course it's his towel, it's his rifle. Of course his DNA is going to be on it. Like the links, the key links are all missing. Like the event is a murder. So all the details of the actual murder down to the millisecond are all important. We don't have an autopsy. We have an inconclusive, consistent with a 30 caliber round. Well, that's just saying this piece of metal could possibly be a 30 caliber round.
Right.
I could go in my yard and pick out probably 30 pieces of metal that I could go, this is consistent with a 30 caliber round. Like, that's just saying it's metal. This is a piece of metal. Then it could come off of destroyed bullet. Yeah, it's about the right size. Like, it's just, but they're so good at putting it in a portraying it in a way and using language in a way to make it seem like that appeal to authority.
Yes.
It's like this is the like a master class in appeal to authority. They're just that's all they have, because the facts and the actual event that we witnessed doesn't match with the reality of what they're telling us. So they just keep putting authority figures out there saying little sound bits that pieces it together enough for people to be like, well, the experts say so. Who am I to say my common logic and the eyes and ears that God gave me said this doesn't make sense, but the experts, they say it's 100% kosher. Yeah, it's kosher. So Tyler must have done it. Yep.
Dude, I think that oh my gosh, like how do you take anyone seriously that negates that, like the majority, if not all, of the evidence against Tyler is largely circumstantial evidence. It's not like even the physical evidence isn't really physical evidence that points to him, because like we don't have the chain of custody. We don't have the explanation that like, well, and if this towel was taken from his house, like, yeah, of course it's going to have his DNA on it. They don't talk about the other 4 to 5 people's DNA that's on there. They don't talk about how the FBI and ATF did their rule out with like the different, when they do their diagnostic, right? Like that with the alleles, right? The other male family members that have held that gun that could also come up to a positive on this DNA test. It could be his brother's, it could be his dad, it could be his grandfather's DNA. Like we don't know how they came to the conclusion that they did on that. And did we forget that? Remember, like they said that they found that, well, I don't know if it was them or if it was Erica or Andrew, but I mean, they were referencing some document or, the coroner's report or the autopsy or something when they were like early on, and they found the bullet just beneath the skin. But then they found, and they didn't say a fragment of the bullet. They found the bullet just beneath the skin. And then like later now we found out it's the bullet jacket fragment, right, is inconclusive, and was not able to be matched definitively to the rifle. There's nothing. And so how do you take someone like Gary Melton seriously that is clearly like, no, he there's no way he's ignorant to like all of this, right? Like there's no way with his experience. He's got more experience than I do. Right. I was just, every Marine's a basic infantryman, but I was a firefighter in the Marine Corps. Right. So like, yeah, like I did boot camp, I did MCT, but like I didn't deploy and I didn't fight like he did. So like he would have way more experience with like ballistics and all of that. And so like, that's what's hard for me to take him honest, like an honest person. It's hard when you look at what we're looking at and we're like, it's just not all there. But these people, not just him, there's so many that just swear like it's so obvious, TPUSA, Andrew Cole, that 90% of the evidence could be thrown out and they would still convict Tyler Robinson because it's that strong of a case.
Yeah.
And then we're looking, we're like, what are you guys looking at? That's
maybe they know something I don't know. And that's why they keep bringing up tidbits like, oh, well, the dash camera, the GPS, but they don't tell you anything about it. Like they just mention it and you're like, oh, that must be their rock solid evidence. And the people are like, oh, they have video of him taking the shot. No, listen to his words. He clearly makes it a point not to mention video of him taking a shot. Right. It's video of him going to the sniper's perch
and then running.
Right. Yeah. I promise you, if they had a video of taking the shot, we would have seen it 100 times already. It's
and it's not in the charging documents either. It's not in any document. There's not one court document that says they have him taking the shot. And
Right.
you and I both know if they have him going to and from, then they have the shot, and they would have recoil. They would have maybe muzzle flash. They would have a lot of characteristics that would indicate that a round was fired of some sort. We might not, with the clarity of that stupid camera, we might not be able to tell what kind of rifle it is, but we would be able to see something and him going down and then even a little bit. But yeah, they don't put it in writing, and he never says it in any hearing that they have him taking the shot. And that would have been one of the first pieces in a charging and probable cause statement, because that is like a smoking gun if I've ever heard one. We have an on camera taking a shot in that direction.
Yeah. Either a witness witnessing him taking the shot or a video of him taking. That's what you need to make a case.
Thing.
Right. You have to have that to make the case. Otherwise, you just have a rifle that has his DNA evidence on it.
That you found
in the woods. Like, that could be anything. You can explain that
on the fourth sweep.
Yeah, you could explain that by so many different ways other than that was the rifle on the roof that took the shot. Like, they can't say that conclusively.
No, you
can't. They just won't admit that. You know,
No.
if they were making an honest case, they would say that. They would say that, you know, we found this rifle well after the event. We don't have a way to absolutely know that it's the rifle that was shot, Charlie, but it's consistent with what we should expect.
Yes.
That would be the honest way to say it. But that's not what we get. You know what I mean? They just allow our brains to fill in the blanks, and they use their appeal to authority just to drop the little nuggets they have, and they let us just assume that they have everything in between, and they don't. Like, that we've seen it already. They're going to go to case. They're going to the case with what they got, and you know it'll be a travesty if they convict him on what they have, because you know any of us could be set up for a crime with the little bit of you know evidence that they have. It's just soft circumstantial evidence that anyone could go and scoop up while you weren't at home, drop it somewhere, and you just happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, and now you're a murderer, and there's nothing that you can do. You know, that would be the precedent that they're going to set. You know, it'll be the case that they'll reference when they go to try to convict someone in the future on some soft evidence like this. You know, that's why even if you don't care for Tyler or you don't care for Charlie, like, it's important that you address this, because our justice system affects us all. Like, it's equal part law to all of us. We're all, we're all could be victims of this type of action.
We're all one bad situation of being in the wrong place at the wrong time away from them deciding we don't have anyone. Because that's the other thing. They have to have someone. They have to have someone, right? Whether they plan this from the beginning to have him, right? Or towards as it got closer, they plan to have him, or even if it were something like on one of us and we get framed after the fact, it really is not important. The point is that, I mean, it's a little important for him that, like, obviously they probably set him up long before, but that if they can convict anyone with just piecemealing circumstantial evidence together, on Tyler, they can do it on any of us at any time, and it means all of our freedom is in jeopardy. You know.
Yep.
And you know that if your wife was injured, or mine, right, and unalived, we would be the number one suspect, right? Proximity, motive, opportunity, means it is always the first thing looked at. And like all of the people that you and I look at and go like they all had motive, means, and opportunity to Charlie never have been actually looked at.
They just let them walk all over the crime scene. Like, they didn't even separate them. Like, you separate them and you question them all. You find inconsistencies in their stories.
You don't let them talk to each other.
You don't let them huddle up and over the victim and clean up their crime. You know what I mean? It's nothing about the whole investigation makes any sense other than, the FBI running an op. That's the only way you can explain it. Like, at this point where we're at today, you look at it on paper and you take an objective lens at it. The only way you can explain everything we witnessed, everything that's unfolded, is it's an FBI op. And that's why they swooped in and they got the local guys out of it, because they didn't want them finding anything that they didn't want them to see. Like, that's why the leaked information to the press, that's why the whole 33 hours we found them, it was all just a op, a brotherhood of the FBI, secret handshake club, speaking to each other in code. And we're just sitting here appealing to authority, thinking that they're serving justice, and they're just playing a game, because now we know, hindsight, the consequences of it. Charlie was standing in the way of a $1 trillion empire that makes its money off of waging unjust wars, and they couldn't have it. Charlie was too eloquent. He would have been. It would have been very difficult for them to deal with Charlie out there, bringing up the points of how this is negatively affecting everyone in the world, and there's only a small group of people that are benefiting from it, and those small group of people seem to have a rule of law that doesn't apply the same to everyone else. And, you know, it would have made it so apparent to everyone, and they couldn't have that. So they eliminated Charlie. It's, you know, you look at the motivations, you know, when you have trillions of dollars involved, pulling something like this off and putting people's like Cash Patel, he'll never recover from this, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He was willing to go along with it. He's just a fall guy because he's not important. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. He'll play his role and he'll go down as, you know, as a buffoon, but it won't matter because the people that are really in charge, that we don't know their names, we don't know what strings they pull. We'll never know anything about them. They have, you know, 12 layers of people in between them to insulate them that they'll be willing to throw under the bus.
Plausible deniability.
Yeah. And that's why you see people leaving the administration. Like it's just all the signs are there. Like people see it's the rats are running up from the lower deck, and you know, the ship is sinking, and you know, they're just going to keep chugging along because once you get your $1 trillion, I mean, you can make it move. It's you can make the narrative. It's your narrative at that point. You can pay a Gary or whoever, you know what I mean? Like during the pre 9/11 and the Gulf Wars, the media was that. But now we have a new media. And it's easier than ever. Before you have to have a whole production company in and the CEO top down running the whole propaganda campaign. Now all you need is a Gary that cashes a check for you know, a couple $100,000. Now he's out there towing the line for you.
And they send him the bullet points each day. Like all he does is get on there and pretend like they were his bullet points, you know?
Yeah. And it's easier than it's ever been. You know, we talk about how podcasts like this allow people to see the truth. Those people were finding the truth anyway. We just weren't connected. You know what I mean? No, people like us weren't believing the media back then either. But now their budget's just a lot lower and it's easier. You know, you just hire a single dude with a YouTube channel and he can go put the slop out for you, and you get enough bots on the internet to post comments that 100% guilty. I believe this too. Like, then you can make the needle move whichever way you want. You know, I think that's why you see the rise of these social media companies. Why certain companies just disappear and other companies rise to take them over like immediately. It's because they're in the pocket. It's a government op. You know what I mean? Like our opinion is the most important thing that they need to control, because at the end of the day, our tax money gives the appearance of it all being legit. Right. They're really barring everything, but they have to have a populace that seems like it's in line with the policies that are going along and paying taxes for it to seem like it's a legit, you know, and not just a banana republic. But, you know, we're getting to the point where that facade is cracking away, and
pretty bad.
And that's a dangerous place to be in, because, you know, that's when things get drastic, you know, that's when people get swooped up in camps and re-educated and everything else. And, you know, we're not too far off from that. People need to start really paying attention to, you know, authoritarian actions. They repeat themselves. You can go and look at, you know, other countries that have had, you know, the authoritarians take over. They go through the same steps, the same stages happen.
Cycle.
The currency gets debased, people start to struggle, and then they start to put the screws down. And that's where we're at now.
It's like a playbook.
We're at the currency debasing area, and the screws are coming down. Like we're going to be faced with it.
And then if they make it, you know, bad enough to where we start fighting amongst ourselves, and they have to, you know, declare martial law and a state of emergency, which allows Trump to stay in office and allows them to create, you know,
he's already preloading it. You know, Trump is like, he has diarrhea of the mouth.
Yes.
He can't help but just start to say, he's already saying, well, maybe I'll be here in 2028, maybe longer. Maybe I'll be the prime minister of Israel. They love me 90%. Like he's priming it. He's priming the pump already for, you know, you know.
You think BB saw that and was pissed?
No, he probably loves it. He's like, oh, this guy, I love it.
I feel like they like each other, but I feel like they also despise each other, because like
Well,
I don't know.
as much as Trump thinks he may have converted to Judaism, he's always going to be a goy.
Oh, 100%. They all, when he's not there, when it's a straight up non-goy party, they're all bagging on Rubio, Cruz, Graham, Trump. They're not. Come on.
It's a weird, I've had the pleasure of working, and Jewish people are great. I have no problem with Jewish people.
Same. My wife's family are Jewish, but they're normal.
My family worked for Jewish brothers. They were hardworking. I mean, they do, but it's a really weird thing in their culture where they'll pretend like someone's a part of the group, and as soon as they leave, they're like, yeah, his mother's not really Jewish, and it's just like they treat him like he's just a goy. You know what I mean? Yes. I've learned that as a child, and I've seen it time and time again. They'll let someone pretend like they're Jew, and then when they're not away, they're like, yeah, he's not really a Jew. It's
no, his mom wasn't Jewish. Yeah,
his mom was. I was like, God, it's brutal. This guy devotes his life to this, and you guys just dismiss him, but you don't even tell him. You let him believe that he's a part of the group.
Yeah. Here, let me get some of these, and then we're going to get into some of the stuff you got. Okay. We got Jim Bear said, "What's up, Black Line Brief? Member for 3 months. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate you. What up, man?" We got the fake Blake Bednars. This person cracks me up. It's not really Blake. I thought it was Blake. It's not Blake, but hey, what up, guys? What up, dude? One night, and when the first night I saw this handle, I was like, "Is this you?" I was like, Blake, is this you? I want to go live with Erica Kirk, like in a ring. Like you want to go, or you want to do a live video with her. I think either would probably sell tickets, honestly. But she's never stupid enough to sit down across from anyone live. That isn't like, gonna throw her like Barry Weiss softball questions.
She's bad enough with a script.
Bro, she's so bad. Gary eats dino nuggies on mashed potato mountains with broccoli trees while wearing foodie pajamas. Oh, someone needs to create an AI like video of that. That would be hilarious. But like his grown man body with a beard on like a little baby in footy pajamas playing with his dino nuggies and his trees and his mashed potatoes. That would be hilarious. And then we got no autopsy, no body, no case. Free Tyler. I agree with that. Do you know, John? I've heard different stories. Was he cremated?
Dude, that's like a mystery. I've heard so much conflicting information about it, and that's just weird in itself. Like, if they definitely cremated him, that is just sketch. The way to seal it off. You know what I mean? I'm sure Eric was like, "Oh no, he told me after he told me that he wanted me to lead the team that he wanted to be cremated." It was in the same. Here's a recording of it. Like,
I heard it reported that he was set to change his will on the 14th or 15th of September. Did you hear about that?
Oh,
that just came out this week. Either Kim Iverson, or somebody, maybe it was the Common Sense Show. Somebody reported that he had a scheduled appointment to update his last will and testament on like the 14th or 15th.
Shady.
Yeah.
Again,
wait, wouldn't like local or FBI like tell her like, hey, even if you want to cremate him, that's great. We need you to wait though until this case is over. Shouldn't they put like some sort of order?
He should be on ice until the it's over. And then like information like that should have made Erica Kirk like prime suspect number one.
Right.
That's very important information.
Right. Yeah. I hope that. I don't know. I really hope that a lot of the fact that we can't even get these questions, like I wish that people close, well, maybe Candace has asked. I don't know. Like these are other questions that haven't been answered. I mean, I know Andrew and Erica don't have to respond. I'm sure Candace asks all sorts of questions, and I bet they ghost the heck out of her.
Yeah. I mean,
they respond to like the AI thing or whatever. Blake will respond to like her on X, but not to anything meaningful.
Yeah.
Here's a question. I think, let's see. John, has any of Tyler Robinson's defense ever responded to you or take notice of your work? Your work is incredible. One love above.
They haven't, but I can say that I've had almost 9 terabytes of data downloaded from my website from all over the world, from very specific IP addresses.
Any in Utah?
not in Utah, but of intelligence agencies all over the world have downloaded information off of my website.
And that's that is followtheepicenter.com or
.com. Yep.
And I'll put it in the chat so that it's there too.
I get like 1 million hits. It's only been up for a few months. But the amount of downloads that I get off my website is astonishing. So much of the forensic data analysis, the videos, the pictures have been downloaded. Like, I'm sure GoDaddy's going to start, charging me extra soon.
Oh, once you reach a certain amount of downloads.
Yeah, 9 terabytes is huge. I couldn't believe it while I went and looked at it. It was beyond like a normal website, may have a terabyte downloaded from it, like in 2 to 3 years. Like 9 terabytes is stupid. That's a lot of data.
And I mean, does it tell you where, or do you just know?
I can see the IP addresses, and then I can search those IP addresses and see who, a majority of them are ran through VPNs, but there's certain VPNs that intelligence agencies use that are kind of like synonymous with them. A lot of them go through Spain. And then I can see those. And, when you see 2 weeks of those downloading every single thing on the website, like, you can put the pieces together. That's not some normal person using a VPN.
Why do you think they'd be interested?
I don't know. Well, you got to think of like the whole world works on blackmail. So it's like any amount of information that another intelligence agency can have about our intelligence agencies is an asset.
Yeah. Information is gold. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And you don't even know sometimes, because like we might have all these missing pieces up here. We might have some piece of, information or intel based on your research that it takes some other person in some other, intel agency across the world to look at and go like, he doesn't even know what he has here.
Yeah. And there's that mass video of the Iranian guy, which I don't think he's probably Iranian, but like that interview of the guy, like he pretty much verbatim goes over my thesis of what happened. You know what I mean? Like when I saw that, I was like, oof, what?
Oh yeah. I was going to ask you about that. That was interesting.
Yeah.
That was interesting. I mean, definitely people are paying attention, all over the world, whether that be through, like your website or videos, on YouTube. I think it's, I thought that was interesting. I didn't know if, when you saw that the first time, what were your thoughts?
Oh, I knew it was going to happen. That's why I went to the website. I was like, I wonder how many intelligence agencies are downloading stuff off of it. And that's when I found that 9 terabytes and all the VPNs and everything. But this is what I struck out to do. I study propaganda. I study brainwashing. I use the tools that they use against us, against them. Like it's a counter war. It's like a guerrilla intelligence warfare that I'm waging. They have the budget and they have the infrastructure, but we can do the same thing now.
Yeah. All right. What do you want to share first?
Let's check out the floor, the Candace pictures, which I'm still waiting on those high resolution pictures. Candace, come on now, don't hold off on me.
Oh, but, tell the community about that, because we had talked about it off screen for a second.
Yeah, so we've all seen the SUV pictures, right? Yes. With the fragments on the floor, and they're as good as they look on the screen. When you really get down to nuts and bolts of them, they're pretty low resolution. Yes. So I'll have a whole pipeline made that analyzes the glare, the glint, the color, the spectrometer of it all, the size and shape. And I took my exact same model that Charlie had. I destroyed the face of it to get the fragmentation that you would expect from an event like that. Yep. And I found automobile carpet that was really close, and I basically spread it on the automobile carpet. I used a flash camera, like what took those pictures, and I took my own pictures of it, and kind of to compare what it looks like. And the analysis was pretty inconclusive because the quality of it wasn't good enough.
I mean, but it looks similar to me for sure.
Yeah, but I could, if I could get a higher quality, I could get like so much data off of it and so much more information.
If those photos were taken for insurance purposes or for investigation purposes, why would like, wouldn't those photos be a higher resolution than what they were?
Yeah, you would think so, and that's why.
That's someone's
But
phone? Is
I
it
had I had to rip it off of a. It's not a phone. The flash
oh.
is different than
Oh,
like
that's right.
what
You said that. Yep.
yeah, I think it was a professional camera, but we have like it's every time it's shown on a media source and it's ripped, it's like you get compression from it. So it's like we are like maybe 3 or 4 down from the actual source file.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
but you can see like the key detail. What I'm immediately is the glare of the bevel. So there's a bevel edge on the edge of the case, and it reflects glass. It reflects the light, the flash,
Okay,
in
yeah.
a certain way, and so you can see it on the edge. These white lines on the edge is where
Yes.
the beveled edge is reflecting the flash, and that's what we see. And that big fragment that's in the center.
Yeah, that one's very clear.
Yeah, and I measured that precisely because in those pictures you can't see them here, have them cropped out, but there's those throat lozenges or whatever.
Yes.
They give you a direct metric of size, right? That's a
Yeah, they
very
do.
it's a
Sure.
standard size. So I measure how many pixels they are across. I reference their real world size, and then that gives me what that scale of the pixels are for those pictures, and then it can give me an idea of how wide this beveled edge is, and it's the exact same beveled edge that's on the case of the Rogue mic.
Huh.
And then the other detail is like the text that's across. There's a few pieces that you can see kind of like gray areas, and that's from like the logo of the Rode microphone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there's like record and power
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
like in a golden text. And there's a few pieces that you can see little flakes of that golden text on it. So you have like 3 key characteristics of it. That it's black tempered glass.
Yeah.
So it's not like a background like a vinyl on the back. Is the glass itself is black, but when it breaks in a certain way, you get clear pieces of it. And we have both of those. We have the solid black and the clear pieces, and then we have the areas that have the gray text from the logo, and then areas that have the little bit of gold text that's really small that has like the power and the record. So you combine that with the beveled edge, and it makes it real difficult just to write it off. This is the seat rail for the captain seats. So Charlie would have been stretched over this.
Right.
And you can see in the photos she released later, there was like a floor mat that was pulled up.
Yes.
And that's why you get this heavy concentration of fragments right
it
here.
Fell off. Yeah, it fell off in that one area. Yeah.
Yeah, where the floor mat was just haphazardly lifted up.
It was like inked like a tablecloth kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So you can see all the smaller pieces ended up getting gathered here. And you can see in my reference photos, very similar. You get like really light colored, almost clear pieces, along with those larger pieces with the beveled edge and the flat black, kind of application to it. But you imagine if these pictures were higher resolution, like it would tell us so much more about, what we're looking at here. But this isn't sunglasses. This isn't a cell phone. The explanations that that people have tried to use are just crazy. And we know that fragmentation came off of Charlie because we have videos of it flying away from him.
Correct.
Right when the impact happens, we see multiple cameras pick up fragments flying away from him, like in an arching path. Like a lot of energy went into him. So you combine all these things together, and then the microphone bulge, like the bulge was there and then it wasn't. Like
you have that one too, right?
No, I don't have that there because it's
okay.
It's a little iffy.
Yeah.
But
you do see it 100%. You can see the bulge that's underneath the shirt, right? And it's that same width and length.
Yep.
And then after it tilts, you see it's not there anymore.
Yeah, exactly. You see the whole magnet turn 90 degrees, and there's no way that 44 by 44 millimeter microphone case is still attached to it, and it turns and you don't see anything. It was literally the width of the magnet is all you see. It's turned. It's small enough that it folds over on itself.
Right.
It just disappears. Like absolutely impossible to happen when you have the 18 millimeter thick microphone, 32 grams connected to it. Like it can't happen. So again, it's like holistically, when you look at all the things you witness, it's just not possible for that microphone to still be underneath his shirt after the event. And then you have the necklace. So it's like the necklace snaps right by where the microphone is. The microphone case disappears right in the moment. After the necklace flies, you don't see the bulge of the microphone case anymore. So it's like you have to tie those two events together. Like whatever energy caused the microphone case to suffer catastrophic failure had to be the energy that snapped the necklace that caused it to have a catastrophic failure, and it had to have enough energy to propel the necklace up and over his neck. And if that's the case, it has to be the source of the energy of the shirt bulge that we see, right? Like they all happen at the exact same time. Like you can't have separate events that all have, you know, unexplained high energetic, you know, energies that displace in a few frames of a camera, if not within a single frame, and then not be tied together. And then you look at the acoustics of it. We have the acoustic signature from it. So it's not just the visual aspects that we see, but when you really get to the nuts and bolts of the acoustics of the event, the camera's up close, it was muddy because that mock cone arrives at the same time as the explosion. So they kind of like, they're muddy together. The cone comes first, and then the explosion happens while you're still in distortion mode and hearing the reverberation of the mock cone. But when we got the audio from the UVU camera, it's way further away. So that event, the mock cone passes before it first, and then it takes a while for the detonation underneath the tent to reach it. So we have much more definition because we have separation, and then it's uncompressed audio because it's not a cell phone camera. It's actual professional camera. Like it's the best audio we have. And there's 4 cameras. There's 4 audio tracks on that camera. There's a shotgun mic, and then there's 3 audio tracks with it. So, you know, you compare all those together. It's like so many sources show you that there was an energy that originated from the tent. Like, there's definitely a bullet that came across and whizzed by. Like that's undeniable. Like there's a mock cone, there's a muzzle blast, but there was energy that came from the tent that you can't explain. Like the frequencies that you picked up, the rise time especially, it's so telling. The quickest rise time of the whole event. And rise time is how fast the audio goes from not being there to being at full amplitude. And it's
what would make it go fast like that?
It's a high energy explosive. It's the only thing that can do it. Like even a bullet, you know, black powder is not a high energy explosive. Black powder is just concentrating the energy into the barrel, and the length of the barrel applies it. When that muzzle blast comes out, it's not, the muzzle blast in itself isn't supersonic.
Right.
It's the projectile coming out of it that's supersonic. So, you know, that's like you can shoot subsonic rounds out of a rifle and it's way quieter, because you're not getting that crack of that supersonic projectile making that mock cone crack. You're just getting that black powder crack. It's like it's similar to what a sound a firework makes.
Yes.
Well, a high energy explosive, the shockwave that comes off of it is supersonic. So it makes a crack that sounds like a rifle, you know, and it creates, that's why it creates a shockwave that's different. You know, just the supersonic shockwave that comes off of it, you can see it on his flesh. We see waves travel across his flesh
and his hair.
You see his hair go up and down. Like, you know, that doesn't happen from impact of a rifle. Like it's slowing down more and more as it travels through them. Like its energy is decreasing every millimeter it's traveling through. It's displaced quickly and it's over. But that shockwave, there's nothing slowing it down. It travels and affects everything around it. And you know, you can pick it up. But there's so many cameras around there. Like there's just all this evidence. It's just hard to deny that. We can't say what it was or what caused it, but you can't deny that there was a high energy event that originated from the tent. Like,
yeah, I would have to say, I've definitely come even further along on, the bullet. I didn't know. So I had Adam on the other day. And cause I wasn't following like you and other people in the very beginning. But you didn't initially, you know, it wasn't until you started looking into the audio of the phones that day and you found the mock cone, right? That's when you were like, oh, like the trunk, you initially weren't on the trunk theory, right?
No, I didn't know anything. I thought that was crazy talk. There's so
Yeah.
much just crazy talk. It's just like noise, you know.
Yeah,
what
I didn't
mean?
know
Like,
that. Yeah.
yeah, I didn't. I thought that was just wild. I thought that
Yeah.
was just wild. And then look out for Charlie. He did a YouTube video in like October, and
Okay.
the guy's brilliant. But it's like he does like analysis of sound, right?
Okay.
That's kind of like his theme is sound and frequency is like
Okay.
the theme of his. And so he picked up on this weird frequency from Cubs video. Like it's like "Purr, purr," and you know, it just didn't make any sense. But when he slowed it down and I heard it, I was like, man, I've heard that before. And it was just a guy shooting ballistic gel, and the ballistic gel like farted. Like it was like
Yep.
"Purr," from the cavitation gas escaping out of it. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's funny. I wonder if I can find a 30 caliber rifle shooting a ballistic gel. And I was like, man, they make 30 caliber air rifles. That would be any perfect because it wouldn't make any sound. You would only hear the sound from the ballistic gel. So I found a video that literally the video is called like my ballistic gel farted or something. And the guy was shooting a 30 caliber air rifle into a ballistic gel and same sound. So I ripped the sound off of it, started running analysis on it, exact same frequency, exact same duration. And I was like, whoa, that's crazy.
What's
I
an
didn't
air rifle?
air rifle is like it uses a CO2 cartridge to shoot a projectile. And so black power.
Do you think it's possible that's what was used that day?
No, they
okay.
definitely. But the idea is that
Did you hear the crack bang? So no.
yeah, the frequency, what dictates the frequency in the ballistic gel is the diameter of the bullet.
Oh, okay.
It's
Okay.
like an instrument, right?
Yeah.
You have an alto sax, you have a
Yeah.
baritone sax. The
Yeah.
baritone sax is lower in frequency because it's bigger around, right?
Yeah.
Same thing applies. Like there's a exact math that you can say, and this viscosity material, a hole this big, when you blow air out of it, it'll make
Yes,
this
it's gonna
frequency.
hum at this. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's precise.
Yeah.
So then I was like, well, I wonder if I can find some more videos of people shooting 30 caliber rounds, like higher powerful rounds, and 300 blackout. There's like 100 videos of people shooting ballistic gel with 300 blackout. 300 blackouts, a 30 caliber round. I started running those videos. Like I haven't found a single 30 caliber round impacting ballistic gel that didn't make that frequency.
Interesting.
So at that point, I'm like, well, I can't deny it now. Like, then I also knew that if you've ever watched slow motion of ballistic gel when it gets impacted, it creates a cavitation and expansion, and then it makes a secondary explosion, and a third and fourth explosion. From it's like a diesel engine. When you take that oxygen and you compress it, it reignites. And it does it a few times. It's like 4 or 5 times. And that math is exact too. You can take the percentage of the ballistic gel, its viscosity, which is like scientifically spelled out, right? That's a exact calculation. And it can tell you the duration in between the cavitation and how many cavitations it'll have. That matched up perfectly. I found a video of someone shooting a 30 caliber round into ballistic gel in slow motion, and it had the audio, the cavitation, where you could hear it. It was slow motion, but you just speed it up for what the slow motion of, and it matched perfectly with the cavitation that was after that frequency of the gas escaping. So it's like now I had 2 events that tied directly to a ballistic gel. So I hadn't looked at the trunk thing yet. I was just like, what is going on with this ballistic gel sound? Like, how's that fit into the puzzle? And then I found the whole video of the trunk opening and closing. And I'm like, what in the world? Does the trajectory work? Check the trajectory. It works. And I was like, well, that should show that mock cone passes by Mark's and Cub's video, which are the 2 iPhone videos, right? Because ideally, they should have the people that are right in front of Charlie should have the loudest mock cone. Because if that bullet impacted Charlie, that means it went right over their head. And right into, they should have the loudest.
Into Charlie.
And they didn't. The loudest signal of the mock cone
is over there.
Is that Cubs video. And he was literally like right around the corner from the van. And so not only do you see the mock cone, you see the mock cone in his left channel and his right channel.
That's what I was going to ask next. Is that
it passed by him, which is impossible if it impacted Charlie,
right?
Because he was almost behind Charlie. You know,
correct?
I mean? It's like over the shoulder view.
And
then Mark's video. Mark was to Cub's right just a bit, like 14 feet, somewhere in between there. And so I was like, well, I should see that same ratio of that mock cone going left channel to right channel, and it should kind of be similar, but it shouldn't be as loud because it would be closer to Cub, and it was. And I went around the whole crowd mapping it out, and it maps perfectly with it going across the tent and past through the van. And then someone sent me the videos of the van door opening and closing, and I found the video of the guy that actually opens the van door. So it's like everyone gets into place and stands still, and the one kid like holds his hat, and this guy opens the trunk to the van, and he like hurries along the side of the van, and he's almost to the driver's side door when it impacts. And if you look at the whole crowd, looked at everyone in the crowd, he's the first one to react. He jumps before anyone else, and you can see it clear as day. Like he's walking around and he jumps before anywhere else because
he's close
the window of that van was open. So he heard that bullet hit that ballistic gel, and it freaked him out, even though, he obviously was someone had to tell him to go and open it. Because right after that happens, he hits the wireless remote to close it. Like nobody goes and closes it. He's the one that has to have the keys that hits the close button, the automatic close, because it was not just seconds after that bullet struck out that trunk closes. Like, why would that be a priority to you if you just got freaked out by a rifle round and you enough to jump that you're like, oh, well, someone got shot. Let me make sure I close my van door. Let me close the trunk to the van. And then if you look at what's in the van, it's like a bunch of Pelican cases. It's just like a cluttered mess. Like you can't make sense of anything. Like it's the perfect way to hide if you had something. And then what do they do right after the event? They shovel everyone over by the van. Like literally everyone's crowded around the van. Like there's no evidence that you can get from that van because you had half the crowd just gathering around it, putting their hands all over it. You know what I mean? Like it just made it the perfect means to hide the evidence, because you just tainted it with the entire crowd hanging out by it after the fact. And nobody would peek in the van and be like, oh, there's some ballistic gel in there, because it's full of orange Pelican cases. Like it was just stuff piled in there. Like you can't make any sense of what's in it. So I was all like crazy talk about the van until I was just
the audio.
I couldn't deny it anymore when the audio, and then how the video synced, and then I saw the guy acting sketchy and jumping at before anybody else,
it and then moving and then closing it.
Yeah, and then how Carpool like got in. He was so keen on getting in that certain position.
I do agree with that.
When Dan Flood called him over and he goes back, it's like he made a point to get right back in that certain position. You know what I mean? It's like, and then that camera girl that just walks casually past like nothing happened after the shot. Like it was just like, I don't think everyone knew what was going on, but they knew they had like a certain task and they had to be in a certain place. You know what I mean? Like there was coordination that was happening. And then that video that just came out where you see like Flood and McCoy like looking at each other. Like,
that one's weird too.
Yeah. I've seen it before, but I didn't realize like how coordinated it was and how close it was.
Yes.
And like how he was like holding this phone ready for it. And as soon as it happens, he's like on the phone, like, and then just walks away. Like, you just add all these things together. It's pretty obvious that you can't say what they knew, but they knew something was going on. You know what I mean?
I agree with that. Have you seen the time? I don't know. The camera girl, it came out. I don't know when it came out. The girl with the red hat, the one that you're talking about that's on that side. She does this at some point. She does her hands like this. Have you seen that video? It's and so I need to go find it. So much comes out on this, thing over the weekends or during the week on X, and sometimes you lose track of it. I'll find it and send it to you, but I'd have to find out at what time in the sequence she does that. Because if like, I don't know if she's given a signal to someone or not.
But how does she not freak out? You know what I mean? She just walks off like, guess Charlie's shot. The brunette that was behind the camera that was in front of him, she freaks out.
Well, and here's the thing too. Think about this. Who's the only person that hits the deck? Like that's back there.
The white hat guy. I don't know his name.
Frank Turek.
Yeah, he sure does.
What if he heard that flying by?
It's true. Yeah. And it's enough to freak him out. And I know Harpool didn't flinch.
Not at all.
Yeah.
He underreacts.
Yeah.
He almost has a delay reaction. And then he's just like, oh, okay. And then he's like over to Charlie.
Yeah.
But Frank, I think it probably, especially if he didn't know what was going on, or he didn't know about that part of it, maybe,
Yeah.
compartmentalization.
He was worried about another shot.
Yeah.
You could tell that he was hitting the ground. He dropped his phone. He was freaking out, thinking there was going to be another shot. The brunette girl on the camera, the black dude on the other camera, like they were freaking out.
Yes,
they were getting out of the way.
Yeah. But then you have Frank, Mikey and Blake, who just like nonchalant, like walk away, or Carol Farnsworth go record a little short video of themselves. Yeah. Never hit the deck. Never look for a place of hard cover to hide behind.
Never checked to see if Charlie was even hit.
Yeah,
they couldn't even see. Yeah.
Right. Or if there's other people that are shooting and there's more danger out there, like just normal things that you would do as a human, because your fight or flight kicks in, and you'd want to assess the situation. Where is the threat? Is the threat still there? Is there multiple threats? Am I safe where I'm at? Do I need to find another place to hide? Like none of those things went through their brain, which is just so stinking suspicious to me.
Yeah. You just put it all together. Like nothing of it makes sense.
No. Hey, when you do your analysis of the audio with the mock cone, can you reverse that and find out a general vicinity of where it came from based on the phones that pick it up as it's traveling over the crowd? Can you get a basic angle?
If I had cameras spread out throughout the back of the crowd, the problem is the furthest camera I have is the UVU camera. You know what I mean? And so I don't have any cameras from that distance away on the opposite side. If there was cameras like spread out all the way around, I could give you a general area where it came out from. But
so maybe if more footage eventually comes out, other people in the crowd, it's possible that you can get more audio as time goes on and be able to have a better idea.
Yeah. And another thing that we assume is the speed of the bullet. So I found someone shooting a 30-06 at 200 yards at a target, and the camera was at the target. So I took the audio from that and used that as my metric of what because like you use a flat average of the bullet speed, and a bullet's not like a cruise control, you know what I mean? Like it's fast and it's slowing down gradually the further it goes. And so that's why like I had my original analysis running just a flat average speed was giving me, but when I ran it on the actual audio of people shooting 30-06 at 200 yards, and I took that audio and compared it, I was getting distances further away. So it's like, like 30 yards further away. So there's some discrepancy either in the speed of the bullet or the actual position of the shooter that has to be addressed. But we don't know the speed of the bullet. It's always going to be a variable that we know the speed of sound. Like that's the temperature that day, the elevation, like that tells you the speed of sound. But the speed of the bullet is going to be variable on the ammunition, the rifle it was shot out of. But from my direct references of a 30-06 being shot, it's shown that bullet is from further away. And that UVU camera is what was really the key to all that, because it has those 4 audio channels and they're uncompressed. So it gives you like a really clean, one of the channels is garbage. The one that we all hear is a shotgun mic. It's like clipping the whole time. Like the UVU audio that everyone's used to seeing is not very good. But the other 3 audio channels that you have to go and like really extrapolate out of the 3 gig file, they are golden. I've gotten more good data off of them than anything else. And that's really what led me to believe that the shot was taken from further away. I think it was taken from closer to the rail than where they claim to then the edge, of the when I measured it out, I came up with a number and I had to figure out like where's this fit at. And if you see where that rooftop kind of splits off, I'll show you.
I was gonna say pull it up real quick.
Where the rooftop splits off, you can kind of see where so this is the actual analysis that I ran. So this is from the videos that I had and the actual so you can see it was definitely like they're so close. Like that was a 30-06 shot for sure. Like the peaks are similar, the waveforms are similar. Like,
Wait, what's the top left one?
so the
Let me see if I can make this bigger for everyone to see more. There we go.
so the muzzle is the blast is the muzzle blast.
Okay.
And then there's the detonation that we pick up, which is a separate event, right? That comes at the camera later because it's further away. This is the UVU audio.
Oh, this is all the same event.
Yeah,
this is all
but
UVU.
and it's the crack, the mock cone, and the detonation kind of frequency that comes.
Yep.
And you can see that, like, there's clearly two different, sound waves. They arrive at different times. Yeah. So that, and then, compare that to ensure that the crack and the muzzle blast was a 30-6, and it matches perfectly with the 200-yard reference. So, we know that that first reference that passed by was definitely a 30-6 crack, but this detonation that comes later is unidentified. Like, it shouldn't be there, and it doesn't have a solid reference. Let's see. Let's find that rooftop. Let's go Google Earth. Here we go. So this is
bigger. There we go.
Yeah. So we see the area where I have that. This is where the supposed rifle shot of my new calculations. That's how far it says it's come from. But they're saying that, and the gravel imprints are saying it's coming from this front ledge. And so that's the difference in distance that the calculations are coming up with when I run the actual, analysis using a reference from a 30-6. And that's closer to the rail too. So, it's possible the reason that we don't see that video of him from here is because there could be a video they don't want us to see of someone escaping off the railway. And that may explain why they had, whoever Eagle Boy was, jump off the rooftop, because it gave a separation of paths, of a potential possible actual shooter versus the patsy shooter. And that's just pure speculation. But I was just trying in my mind, trying to figure out, like, why am I getting this discrepancy? Why is this guy running across the roof line and when he shouldn't have to, and why wouldn't he go back the way he came? And that's the only way I can really explain it. But that's the difference. And it's not a huge difference. And it could just be, difference in ammunition, that, the bullet was traveling a little slower than the bullets that I had referenced. And so that's what makes the difference. But, it's a bolt action rifle, so it should have like maximum velocity as far as like potential velocity of a bullet. It's not like a semi-automatic rifle that you lose some of the propellant and the action.
Right.
So it should be on the top end of speeds for a 30-6, but we don't know what type of, we know it's Remington ammunition, but we don't know anything else about it. So it's hard to put a lot to that. But as far as like the audio analysis, it's definitely, at first using that flat average speed, it matched. But now when I get a little more precise and weird enough, what really led me to believe that it's probably the truth is they had a professional, like a dude's doctrine that does it for the living, that he said the same exact distance that my math came out with. He was saying it was further originally before, there's a lot of discrepancy of how far away the shot came from in the first few days. And this was like
Chris Mortensen.
Yeah. And so I looked at his math and ran it through. He had a few things wrong, but nothing that would have like made it blaringly, his outcome wouldn't have been changed about it. It was just like some typos in his math. But I found it odd that my corrected analysis using a real world sample came up with like within a meter of where he said it was, as opposed to the later revised FBI position, which was like, 20, 30 meters closer.
Do you think that that video from the side of the person down on the ground walking up, that shows the person in the prone position in black gear?
Yeah, I have a good image of that. There's no way he could have shot from that position.
Right,
like,
he's too far back, right?
Yeah, it's at least at best case scenario 5% grade down.
Right. Right.
And from where he was that far from the ledge, there's
Yeah.
no way he could have shot down any percent grade, you know.
And
He-
sorry, keep going.
you go ahead.
And based on what he said he saw the guy. Actually, what he said he saw matches that stupid Gray Hughes video that he saw the guy get on the roof and run straight to the position, which is not what the charging documents and the supposed CCTV video captures, which is he climbs over the railing, goes over to the building, which is in the middle of the building on top, right? That where he goes behind and changes and gets the rifle out. And then he would have ran from that side of the roof this way. So you wouldn't have seen him run to, and then he low crawled based on the charging documents. He ran and then low crawled to the shooting position. The person down here on the ground filming from the left side of the Losi Center wouldn't have captured that at all.
Yeah.
It doesn't match what they say, the feds say happened.
Yeah, and you look at the gravel pictures, like there's some high resolution pictures of the gravel. Like you can see where someone laid on the ground, right where they show that video of that dude where he couldn't have taken the shot.
Right.
He was too far from the edge. Like you see his thighs, you see his elbows where they dug in the ground. Like somebody was in prone position right there. But then they have a bunch of like FBI flags, evidence flags in another spot. That's like further over and a little bit closer to the edge, but it doesn't look like they were in prone position at all. It looks like they were like kneeled at best, you know, and then there's no marks leading to it or away from it. So it's like, how do you like army crawl and then sprint away without, what if someone take a rake behind them and clean it up? You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's
super weird.
Super weird. It's just nothing of it makes any sense.
Not scientifically explainable.
Like, and then that building they say he was behind there's glass on it. Like you can see him running through it and most of it. So it's like, why wouldn't they be able to see him changing clothes behind it? Like it wasn't a solid building. There was glass on both sides. Like, and you know, I tried to track the guy through it, and it's like really. It's like he just appears halfway through that building when he's running around it. And then he disappears when he gets close to the edge, and then just automatically reappears again on the other. Like that whole rooftop video has so many anomalies that it's really hard to put a lot of weight to any of it.
Yeah. Like here, let's look at this real quick. Well, let me get these real quick because they've been sitting here for a minute. We got the fake Blake. Candace Owens is deep state. Candace won't help you. Oh, yeah. I was asking John why he thinks she hasn't reached out, and we don't know. It could be that she's busy. It could be completely innocent. It could be not innocent. Who knows? But I mean, it's the same. It'd be the same issue with like the defense. Like, why haven't they? Or do you think that there's a good reason why they haven't even like said thanks? You've sent stuff to them, right?
Dude, I sent them every forensic package that's on the website. I was sending it to them first and not putting it public. But when I got no response, I was like, I got to go to plan B. Like, I gotta, they can't say like, oh, we didn't know any of this. So I just started putting it on the website. So now I just send it to them and put it on the website right away. It's just like, dual mode. Like,
is there any kind of like law that would make them not want to even just say, hey, thanks, not sure we'll get to it, but
they they couldn't use my evidence because I'm not a forensics expert. Well, but they could hand it off. Like lawyers inherently are lazy. Public defenders are lazy. Their life works in hours. They're thinking about how many hours am I wasting on this? You know what I mean? Yeah. And if you can like do the work for them and they can just go and claim it as their own and hand it off to someone and have them be like, oh yeah, this is what I discovered. They would do it all day long. And that was my hope. It's like, just hand it off to someone. Let them claim it. Like, I don't want to be the guy.
Most of the legwork.
I don't care. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter to me. The outcome is what matters. Like, go find an expert, hand him all the stuff and let him take claim that he's the guy that figured it out. It doesn't matter to me. But I don't feel like that. It's a kangaroo court. Like it's the most limp-wristed defense ever. It's how they haven't had the rifle. They don't have his cell phone. They don't have any of the DNA data. Like they've gotten nothing. And the only reason that you can explain why they don't have nothing is because the prosecution has nothing. And the plan is just to railroad it through and just bamboozle everybody and rush it through because Erica needs a speedy trial. I didn't know she was a victim. I didn't know she was, the person with their life on the line. She's just the wife. She should be a suspect. Like, the person that is inherently granted a speedy trial is Tyler Robinson. Like, he's the one that's in jail. Erica Robinson's flying around, going to White House, correspondence, getting new houses built, and custom bathrooms installed. Like, why does she need a speedy trial? She's living the life. Tyler Robinson is sitting here in a cell with the weight of the state on his shoulders. Like, he's the one that deserves a speedy trial. Like, it's just backwards to the whole logic of it.
Well, did you know that in the 1970s, 80s, about that's when they started this? It's called like the Mary's Law or something like that, where these states started amending where victims in certain states actually do have a right to a speedy trial.
Yeah,
Utah's one of them, and I think that's probably why they also picked Utah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's one of many reasons. It shouldn't outweigh Tyler's rights, right? Like.
Right.
He has everything on the line. I get why in some states they wanted to make sure that victims had rights too, or surviving family members of the victim if the victim was deceased, unalived. But it should be weighed in the balance. Like, Tyler's got more at stake right now, and
I think a fair trial is more important than a speedy trial.
And that's what's counterintuitive to the wife, right? It's like. Usually when things are rushed, corners are cut, things aren't done right. Yeah. And, if you only get really one good shot, because if you get a mistrial, if you get a hung jury, if you get an acquittal, sorry, babe, like it might be it. If he really did do it and you want to make sure the real person that took out Charlie got convicted for it, your goal should be take as much time as we need to nail this to the cross and make sure this never gets turned over on appeals. This never gets thrown out because of some sort of, hung jury or anything like that. She should want, like they said in the beginning, every stone unturned, every box checked. Well, when you rush things, you can't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Mystic's got let's see. Hi, John. So I've heard this video's been slowed down. Thank you. I was about to ask him. Wait, unless this is the one. Okay, let me finish reading and then I'll determine whether or not I have another question. I think, Mystic, are you talking about the roof video? That'd be a great question to answer. So I've heard this video's been slowed down too much and put through some process that causes AI to fill in. Okay, so based on mine and Mystic's conversations before, the ones that we've been told when we were talking about Blake's video, the UVU video, people have told us that video, Blake's the one that you've tested, right? The one that he's uploaded and made available, that it's been corrupted because it was fed through some AI software, which either fills in blanks with frames to slow it down. Yeah, making it sus and untrustworthy, and we shouldn't believe all of what we're seeing. What say you to that assertion?
It has the best metadata of any of the videos. So it's like, I read it through. Like, I was a faker. I thought that video was fake because it looked so much different than all the other videos. Like, I was accusing of Blake. Sorry, Blake. I was straight calling it AI slop and everything else. I did the same thing with Mark's video because it showed that humpback. I was calling it the humpback fake.
Yeah,
it was just I couldn't explain how one camera could pick up a frame that the other cameras didn't. But that's before I realized the speed,
frame rates, right?
The shutter speed.
Yeah.
So each camera's capturing a different millisecond,
like
right?
30 or 60.
They're not all synced.
No.
It's like video is just a bunch of still pictures, and they're all taking a still picture at a different time.
Correct.
The higher the frame rate, the quicker the shutter is.
Correct.
And so we were seeing like millisecond differences in between
one doing this and one doing this.
And in my mind, I couldn't explain how a millisecond can have such a drastic difference in the event. But when you're dealing with high order explosives, just like that audio, the rise time, how it goes from nothing to full amplitude,
right?
It's a supersonic event. It happens faster than anything you can imagine. So that's what allowed these different cameras to all pick up different things, And I was looking for consistency between the cameras, and some cameras were consistent because if you have enough cameras, they're going to be pretty close together, right? Yeah. But you had a few outliers that had a different got pressed record at a different time, that frame rate was a little different. And that UVU camera is just one of those cases. It was far enough away. It was running like 29 frames per second. So it was on a little bit lower than other frames per second. But yeah, I for sure thought that thing was modified AI and
it's
everything
not,
else.
right?
I've run it through the mill. There's
Okay.
just nothing that's modified about it.
Okay.
And no offense to Blake, but I don't think he's like that type of technical person, you know, to do that sort of
Right.
thing. It would
Right.
need to be handed to him like that. And
Mhm.
when I got the full file with all the audio files on it and everything, like it's so hard to make a single audio track fake, but to have 4 audio tracks that are fake, that are all identical, they're like peaks and waves are the same, you know, other than one being clippy because the gain was turned up high. It's just too much work. It would be. So yeah, I had to accept the fact that that was a legit video. Not only is it a legit video, it's the most important angle of the whole event because it's the only uncompressed sound we have from the whole event.
Yeah. So, oh man, I lost something in what did I write down? Yeah, so the video checks out, not been fed through some sort of AI which added frames to it. Oh, this is what it was. Do you think that they were counting on that? Those that ran this up, right? They knew that this was going to be such a high velocity event and that so many people would be with different cameras at different angles, capturing different rates. With AI now possible, a lot of people, when doing their analysis, would look at a lot of this like you even did in the beginning and go like, no, this isn't what we're seeing, right? Without knowing like each camera's specific frame rate and all that, like the higher the velocity and speed of the event, the harder it's going to be to determine certain things. I mean, aside from the audio, right? That's kind of,
yeah. And even the audio, the way they did the way that the mock cone is so close to the detonation
because they timed it that way,
they
right?
timed it. And if you
kind
look,
of hides it.
It's because they knew from the pager attacks that it sounded like a rifle blast. Like it was, if you look at the audio of the pager attacks when no rifle went off and you just look at it, you don't tell someone what it is, they're like, oh, that was a rifle shot. Because it looks a lot like it. It's a very similar kind of like its rise time is faster, but it's kind of like the similar frequencies. So it was the perfect means to hide it in the audio. And then, like you said, it was such a fast event that, you know, the AI gives plausible deniability to any outlier that could show something that you wouldn't expect.
Yeah.
And I still see videos to this day. I'm just like, oh, that's fake. And I just think about it. And I'm like, wait.
Yeah.
You have to accept the fact that, you know, every one of these cameras could capture a frame or two that's completely unique. Yeah. You know, if it happened within that shirt movement time, you can't write it off because it was so fast. There's a few that are just like have things about them before and after that show you that they've probably been like at least compressed to the point where it's kind of garbage, like the color's off or the frame rate's off, or you see ghost frames.
Okay.
But, you know, if you see that it's pretty consistent camera to camera before the event, but in that shirt movement area, you see something unique, you have to assume it was just shutter speed.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, somebody was telling me something. Okay. Yeah, I had a question, but then my brain is pretty fried right now.
And now we know about the concrete thing. That's a huge thing. Like that is like the FBI is the one that ordered the paving
and the state of Utah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like what? Like that was always speculation. You know what I mean? Like, why in the world would that make any sense for anyone to go and just rip up the grass and put pavers down as fast as possible? Like,
and you have to have it done by Monday for school.
Yeah. Other than you didn't want anyone out there finding a piece of something that they shouldn't have been finding. That's the only way you can explain it.
And why the FBI would care. Like, I could understand, like, if this, if UVU, right, and whoever's the board or the top person at UVU, the president of UVU, was like, hey man, this is going to be traumatic. We got classes on Monday. I mean, I speculated that they could have done other things, though. They could have shut down that whole area, and they could have made sure that classes were held in other places. They could have gone online for a week, right? They could have done like what we did during COVID and made classes online. They could have done other things, but let's say they couldn't have done that, right? They just didn't have the ability to do that. And why wouldn't have been the president of UVU that asked for it, right? For the sake of the students, to not traumatize them to see this crime scene. It wasn't them. Yeah. It was the freaking FBI and Governor Cox. And
they were like there watching the dudes do the job. Like Cub said that. Like that they
more
were there.
Videos are coming out. You're seeing it this week. Yeah. More videos during and after them paving it over are coming out. Like I just saw some right before I came on right now. There's videos of them, doing the construction there. I don't know what day it is, whether it's them cleaning up the crime scene or it's actually the Miller, whatever his name was, the guy that did the rebuilding of it. Yeah. But I feel like we're even getting more footage, more videos, even from the event too. Like there's still a lot out there. We don't know what's out there still. You know,
there's you see all sorts of people in the crowd with cameras that we don't have the video from it. You know what I mean? There were so many people recording that day. Like there was
a lot of people. What's sad is they dropped their phones.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the FBI and the local law enforcement got it. And who knows if they ever got those back?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
but there is some people that filmed and didn't drop it, and they have it, and they're just probably too scared to say a freaking thing.
I would be. I'd be sitting that night. I'd be sitting there looking at the delete button, like I should probably just get rid of it. Yeah.
Yeah, or just like go get a new phone and brick that thing, like keep it as is, but hide it somewhere, like bury it somewhere. It's like you might need something like that someday. I don't know, but I don't know. I'd feel bad to just straight up delete it, because like what if you are the one person that, like, I don't know, turned around as you got scared, and on that you captured the actual person running off the other roof, or like who knows? Like that's the thing. You don't even know what you have, right? Like it could be background things, like you're filming this, but it's like you actually captured the suspect or whoever in the background. You just don't even know.
Yeah. I mean, I see new stuff in videos I've looked at like 20 times. I'll go back and I'll see something new. I'm like, golly, someone asked me, says something weird, like Cutler or something, like, oh, it's the palm gun. And I'm like, oh, this palm gun thing again. And I'll go and look and slow it down, and I'll see like something coming off of Charlie or something. Like, golly, I didn't see that before, but now here it is. Like,
I found quite a bit on a couple like early when you did some of your videos from that angle where you got Charlie from the side and it's kind of zoomed him on the crowd over there. I took a couple moments where I found a couple pieces that you see just like come off, and you see more pieces that's probably part of the necklace and the road mic, right? That are flying off.
Yeah.
Like, what else would it be?
That necklace has a silvery color to it. It's really easy to pick out. And the road mic is hard to see until it crosses something with a higher contrast, like a person's shirt. You'll see it go across the person's shirt, and then you'll lose it again.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. Let's see. Do you have anything else you want to share before we end? We're at 2 hours.
No, everything else would be like YouTube smack worthy. But if anybody wants to go see, I have all sorts of new forensics. Like that's probably stuff I forgot about that I put up in followtheepicenter.com. I've been packing it full. But I this week I've been writing patents, so I've been busy. Filed 2 patents this week. Breakneck piece.
Okay, I'm gonna sound really stupid really second. Epicenter, EPIC, right? Epicenter, and then ENT.
Yeah, enter.
Right. All right, tell me if I did that right. It's coming up in the chat.
That's it.
Yeah, is it there? There it is.
Yep,
all right, cool.
Yep.
And then I got the last super. All right, cool. Yeah, it's there. Well, I'm gonna let you take off, and then I'm gonna play. I got some clips of Charlie that I wanted to play, but I'll let you go. Okay.
All right, bud. Appreciate you having me. Jon. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you.
Bye. All right, guys. We're gonna continue on. I even had a backup, but we're gonna do that tomorrow. But let's let me pull up some because what I have is a full-on episode on Philly, JFK, Charlie Kirk, similarities, and some new things that I think have come out with his email to BB and the timeline. And so, yeah, and I think that's going to take a full episode in and of itself. But I have that already lined up and ready to go. So we'll do that probably tomorrow, and you won't want to miss that. Like, to me, it's like, holy smokes. Did I just miss another one? How far behind is this video on here? Wait, oh no, it's because, let me go. There we go. All right. All right. I got plenty of Charlie Kirk clips because my wifey sent me a bunch the other night that we didn't get to. So let me go here. Because enough people had sent me ones already that we had played that night. So let me pull this up. Okay. But then I actually want to ask you guys questions real quick. Well, before I do that, if you guys haven't done so already, please do me a favor and hit the like and the subscribe. Honestly, you guys, whatever you guys can do right now to help this channel out, I really appreciate it. We're in a slump. I don't want to, dwindle on that too long, but really could help use your guys' help right now. Hitting a like. If you're new, hit the subscribe. Please and thank you. And then after this video posts, you can head over to the video comment section and just throw a comment in and be like, hey, great show, great having Jon on, good to see him again, or whatever you want to write. All right. And then if you guys do want to support this channel, you can do that through super chats. It also allows you to ask questions and add comments, or you can do it here at the Venmo for the Black Line Brief, or at Buy Me a Coffee here for the Black Line Brief, okay? You just write in there what you want the money or the donation or support to go to, and I'll make sure it goes to that. All right, let's get to this. Let me skip to the part where it's Charlie. Wait, babe. This is an hour and 13 minutes. That is a very long full-on debate. Hold on. I did that one. I don't want to do the full hour. That's like super long. Let's do this one. Hold on. Let's go here. Share.
I am a voter.
Oh, let me back up. Now that I see it, is it on the screen? Yeah, cool. Let me go like this. Make it big for you guys.
Are you a voter?
I am a voter.
Oh, so I vote and you vote. So I'm talking to voters of this country that will determine the future of Western civilization. That's what I'm.
A company that's like close to being a fascist, and then like.
Okay. How am I? Sorry. Let's go through this. How am I a fascist?
Do you view democracy as an American value, something that's very important to the fabric of this country?
No. But you asked very specifically about democracy, which is not an American value. Democracy is majority rule no matter what. Pure, if the majority gets it, the majority wants it as quickly as possible. What's your name?
Dakota.
Nice to meet you, Dakota. How old are you?
I'm 11. So I'm pro-life, and I know I want to get into politics when I grow up.
You should go to Hillsdale College, America's greatest college, and start studying now. Start taking classes, reading books, and the fact you're thinking like this at 11 is a great sign. God bless you, and the future is very bright. Thank you. Are you a...
All right, let me go to the next one I got. I think this one. Pause. Yeah, I don't think we've seen this one. Let me make sure it's on the screen. Cool, it is.
What is your Starbucks order? You've been carrying a Starbucks cup around.
That's a great question. What do you think it is?
Somebody said green tea.
Someone said soy milk in a
Somebody
soy milk
said
latte.
chai.
I think it's
not chai. I literally drink this for one reason, because I lose my voice very easily. It is literally just Mint Majesty tea with 2 honeys. And I drink like 9 of them a day. Otherwise, I lose my voice. So now you know the Starbucks order.
Hello. What do you have to say to the trans students on this campus who actively feel victimized by your presence here today?
Life's tough. Get a helmet, man. I'm too pregnant for this. Next question.
I freaking love that clip, man. Life is tough. Get a helmet. I'm too pregnant for this. You feel victimized by someone walking here. Stop breathing our air. That's our air. You're in our campus hall, and I feel victimized just by you being here. Stop it.
What is the #1 cause of black death in Chicago?
Are you serious?
Other blacks killing blacks.
Are y'all saying other blacks?
Yes.
Other blacks?
It's FBI statistics. It's
FBI
well known.
Statistics? Where can you show me that at?
No,
Show me right now.
Right there, by race. Right there.
Let's read it. 70% of offenders were African American.
How many illegals are coming across the border every day? A lot. So about 10 to 15,000 a day. Do you think Joe Biden?
They're all going to vote Dem.
You're okay? Can you say that again?
The illegals? Well, illegals. Yeah, they're coming here. They're going to vote Democrat, and we're going to win.
That like literally just spelled out the whole point of mass illegal immigration. One of the points of it.
Again, I get asked by Democrats all the time, Charlie, why did we lose the election?
Oh,
thank you.
Okay, all right.
Because we don't dress up in dresses and go to events like this.
I feel okay. Now I think you're just a liar. You said you liked my dress.
You think that trans people will be disrespected that you came up here dressed and pretending to be one?
Oh, that's a good question, actually. That's a great question. But I don't care.
My question is,
Yeah. Let's go to the next one. Is this the one I just did? Oh, all right, cool. Oh, I think we've heard this one, but I always like listening to Charlie, so let's hit it. Yeah, it's there. Let me go here.
I want to ask you what you as a male, just like would guess you are a male, think you have the right to speak up and tell women what to do with their body?
Are men allowed to have opinions on moral topics?
Yeah, you are, of course, allowed to have opinions, but it's a really controversial opinion to tell a woman what to do with their body. You are a man, and it's not your field-based eye.
So if it's not your DNA, why is it your choice?
Of course, it's my body.
It happens to be temporarily in your body, but is it your being?
Yeah.
It is. Didn't the woman make a choice to have sex, and then she should carry the responsibility that comes with it?
I think there are two people who should carry the responsibility.
Okay, wait, hold on. So then shouldn't a man be able to say, you can't have an abortion without my consent? I thought you said it was just a woman's issue.
I just want to ask you.
Yeah. Let's see. All right, guys. I got a couple more, but I want to see if there's anything here in the chat. Let's see. I always wonder if who this person is. Not Banjaloon, but the B. Blake. The flashing blonde was weird. Yeah, there's not a lot of questions or comments in here that I could read. I think it's you guys talking to one another like, ha ha ha, or broke from tickets, or my license taken. Yeah, all right, let me play another video. And then if we don't have any other ones, then we'll call it.
I am.
Okay, what is her greatest?
Hey, free speech? Free speech?
Yeah, they have the freedom of speech to boo you. That's right.
Do I have the freedom of speech? Okay.
No, that's a baby made in the image of God, deserving of protection.
So you're comparing abortion to the Holocaust?
Absolutely, I am. In fact, it's worse. It's worse.
Even show you a photo, if I may, okay? Do you truly, in your heart of hearts, truly believe that this is a human being? This,
without a doubt.
Without a doubt?
Yes.
This is a dolphin fetus.
Are you voting for Kamala?
I am.
Okay, what is her...
Oh, hold on.
What is...
I didn't know it was going to be that quick. All right. Let's see. All right. I think I got to all the super chats and I got to yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Matt, how about you check out info on the new weapons that Trump was talking about on air? We may start seeing some of that tech used soon. Yeah, that's a good point. Did he say that today? I will. And I had said this the other day. If you guys have other things, and I'm working on, let's see, the ones that I had from the other day. Yep. The first is the initial stories reporting on whether or not EK and the kids were there. Why UVU event was fast tracked and approved within 7 weeks. And then UVU employees receiving funds, potentially payoffs. And then this one, Trump talking about new weapons. Yeah, I'll definitely look into that. Let's see. There was another one that just came up. Where's Kamala now? In hiding or in Jamaica on her plot of land. I definitely do think it was, it all comes down to something under Charlie's shirt, 100%. But I think the more and more I think about it, and like from what I see Jon do, and what he's done work on, and it's the mic. I'm more convinced now than I was before that it's the mic. And now too, like knowing that he wasn't even on the trunk and the bullet over the crowd into the trunk at first, he was against it. And then as he did his own search on it and research on it, he came around that the audio, kind of proves that a bullet did fly over the crowd and into the back of the trunk into some ballistic gel. Let's see. Let's see. What information do you have or feel like the Google hits in July have any bearing on the case? Yeah. That's what Barron kind of his claim to fame was, right? Was the Google search trends. I have heard other people criticize like other people that like have way more experience and knowledge in Google search trends, that it's not just as simple. And I think Barron is probably pretty experienced in it. He did it for when he was consulting for these large grocery chain stores. He helped them identify like what products were being searched in the local area, like what products they should keep on the shelves, which ones they shouldn't. So I'm pretty sure like he knew how to go about, doing the Google search and analyzing the Google search trends to really hone in on location, dates, names, places. And I do think our government, I do think the FBI, and I do think Philly is all involved in this. And so the fact that key people involved in this, whether that be Lance Twiggs, Tyler Robinson, UVU campus, Karen Nestor, the Timpanogos, and the list goes on of people, places, and things that were Google searched from DC, from Philly in June, July timeframe, some even further back, people like Mikey McCoy, so many people and things involved in this assassination and cover up were Google searched in DC and in Philly in the months leading up to the assassination. And in my opinion, it points to the fingerprints of them planning this, right? Them prepping and planning who, what, when, where, why, and how. So I do think it plays a pretty big role, Let's see. Let's see. I can't get past the shape charge, Matt. It's a gut feeling. This story doesn't click. And Charlie said, if a story doesn't click out, or guts are usually right. Wait, MRK, I thought you were the one saying that the shape charge is plausible based on the conversation with your dad. I thought from when I listened to the audio of, from what you sent me, was that the shape charge theory is possible. However, keep in mind, why did Siri just start listening to me? That's weird. Because I said shape charge? That's weird. I didn't even touch my phone and the Siri just started listening to me. But keep in mind, there was some sort of malfunction in the Rode mic. And so we didn't actually see the shape charge behave in the way that it was supposed to. And what ended up happening was that pieces, or a piece of the battery and or the hardware inside the mic, is what lodged in Charlie's neck. And it wasn't an actual shape charge that bored a hole into Charlie's neck like it would have done here in the body and like it was supposed to do. But maybe write some more, MRK, and, help me understand. If those dates correlate with the drone flights, I have documentation of that. That'd be interesting. You do? Send it. Send it to my email, man. Let's see, MRK. Like, I can get past the idea of it being anything other than the shape charge. I believe it was a shape charge. I worded it bad. My bad. Oh, yeah. Like, okay, yeah. Like, you're 100% positive it's a shape charge. Yeah, I agree. All right. 100%. Yes, I have the AS explosion on here as well. As something to look into more. People want to know more about that. All right, guys. It's late. I still need a shower. I need to eat dinner and go to bed and wake up and go to the gym and do my normal job all over again. If you haven't done so already, please hit the like and the subscribe. I appreciate it. And, if you guys like this channel, please help support in any way that you can. The channel was doing extremely good. And a bunch of stupid stuff happened. And, I want to keep being here for myself and for you guys. And so any and all support that you guys are able to do, it's greatly appreciated. All right. Well, I love you guys. God bless you guys. We don't know where Charlie's body's buried. It's at some sort of Catholic cemetery somewhere. But thank you guys so much. Oh, Zebra Z, you just showed up. What up? And we didn't see Zamet tonight either. Good night, friends. I'm going to catch up. Fingers crossed I get the next live. Did you just show up, Zebra Z? Yeah, and I didn't see Zamet tonight. What time does the Zamet usually show up? Like 8:30? Let's get Matt to 10K. Yeah, I know. Like, let me look real quick. Let's see. Let me check something. That's cool. It went back up a couple. But every time that happens, then I wake up the next day and then it goes back down, which it never did. My analytics, like before all this stupidness happened, never behaved like that. It never would like go up and then go down or just go down. Yeah. I love this community too, Jim Bear. What was I going to say? Oh, I wanted to show you guys. I updated some things. Let's see if I can go to my channel. That's not my channel. What the heck? Your channel. Yes, there we go. Let's see. I updated Oops. I updated my little logo and my banner. I'm playing with it. I have some other ones too, but like I'm able to like make my banner, but then the way YouTube has you put it in, it's like hard to put it in to make it fit and able to see it. Like you can see it on here, but if you try to view it on your phone, like the phone covers it, the top part of the phone. But yeah, so like right now, what does it say we're at? Let me see. 9,377, you know. We were so close. We were nearly halfway, you know, to 10. So yeah, look, you guys, I really love you guys. Oh my gosh, Xeon Gaming, I haven't seen you in forever. You were here in like the very old days when I was like, you know, small, very small. Do you want me to create one in Canva, Matt? Yeah, that'd be cool. I have a subscription to Canva. Yeah, that'd be dope. Zebra Z, that'd be super cool. And then you can email it to me. And then, yeah, that'd be really cool. We're almost there, Jim Bear. I know. Xeon Gaming, you're here every night in the chat? In the chat? Or you're watching every night, but you're not in the chat every night? I haven't seen your handle in a minute. Don't be mad at me. I also don't get to like watch the chat, even though it's like on the screen. When I'm doing my show, I can't like watch the chat. I only really get to see it after the fact, and I only get to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on my thing over here at a time. Let's see. I don't speak Spanish. What is that from Anchorman? Baxter, you know I don't speak Spanish. Watching, not always chatting, but I'm here. Okay, that makes sense. All right. I thought you were calling me like, you butthead. I'm here every night. You don't notice me? And I was like, oh, no, well, no, I notice. I remember when I remember. Please. All right, guys. Thank you guys for all your support. Love you guys. God bless you guys. Have a good night. Tomorrow, don't miss tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be good. And I have a lot more lined up, other stuff coming this week. So make sure your notifications are clicked on to all so you get notified when I'm going live. All right. God bless you guys. Thank you guys so much. Have a great night. See you guys tomorrow.